There, and welcome to my Q&A with Giselle. And this month, I am talking about traveling abroad, a topic that never ends. And every month, I engage in a dynamic Q&A session answering your business immigration questions. If you want to make sure that you receive these valuable insights, do not forget to subscribe to my channel. So let's begin. Let's explore the ever-evolving landscape of travel and corporate immigration together. In this session, I am going to be answering the following 3 questions that were selected based on the questions that you sent to me. So if you want to be considered, if you have a question that you think it would be of general interest, do not forget to also send those questions to me. Okay, so here's what we're going to be answering. 1, can my H-1B worker travel overseas after her H-1B extension has been filed? And literally, I got this question asked twice in the last week. So, question that comes up a lot. So, can my H-1B worker travel overseas after her H-1B extension has been filed? So that's number 1. Number 2, after the H-1B petition is approved, does the H-1B worker need to travel abroad to obtain an H-1B visa stamp? And the last one, can my H-1B worker process the H-1B stamp at a third country consulate like Mexico or Canada? So let's answer those questions for you. Again, the first one, can my H-1B worker travel overseas after her H-1B extension has been filed? I am assuming in this question that the H-1B petition has not been approved, so it's still pending while the foreign national wants to travel. Now, if it's been approved, there's also a whole bunch of things to consider, but for now, we're talking about an H-1B extension that has been filed while the foreign national was in the United States, and now something happened. It was in premium process, and it's taking 6-7 months before that petition is approved and the foreign national comes to you because they want to travel. So first, when that extension is filed, and I kind of mentioned this, I'm assuming that it was filed when the person was in the United States, so that is a must. You will need to be in the United States, or the foreign national needs to be in the United States when the petition is filed. So it is, we always coordinate with the foreign national and our HR client, HR or whoever our legal contact, to make sure that the person is in the United States when that is filed. And it's a general rule. It is my recommendation that the person is in the United States and does not travel until that petition is approved. So if travel is necessary, I would recommend using premium processing very strategically, because there's many things that could happen if the foreign national travels and that extension is pending. So it could be that you may get an RFE, a request for additional evidence, or now the petition is approved while the person is abroad. So now do they enter with the current approval notice or the prior approval notice? There's many things to consider. So again, my general rule is that if travel is necessary, premium process, the petition should be considered for premium process strategically. And not to travel while something is pending. That is the general rule. There are some cases when an H-1B extension has been filed that the person could travel on that while that H-1B is extended, but there's several things that need to come into consideration for that to happen. And I encourage you, if you have more questions about this or want to hear more, that you watch a recent video that I did about what HR professionals need to know, or essential knowledge for HR professionals about their foreign workers on work visas traveling abroad. It's about 30-minute webinar packed with very key information that is also saved in this YouTube channel. So make sure that you also listen to that if this is a topic of interest. So the second question, after the H-1B is approved, does the H-1B worker need to travel abroad to obtain an H-1B visa? So there is a lot of confusion about the need to have an H-1B visa stamp in their passport and being in the United States. So as a general rule, the visa stamp in the passport is only needed to re-enter or to enter the United States after travel abroad. Once the person is in the United States, the visa stamp could have expired. And in fact, I have clients that don't care to travel abroad, don't need to travel abroad, don't want to travel abroad, and their visa stamps have expired many years back, and that's okay. The visa stamp is only needed to enter the United States, but they can be in the country with an expired visa stamp, and that is okay. Now, if that person wants to travel abroad, so now the H-1B petition was approved, and for example, this is happening to many of the H-1B workers that were selected under the cap, their approval notice may come in anytime between, May and October. And they may say, can I travel abroad now my H-1B has been approved? They could, however, they will not be able to enter the United States because they don't have a current H-1B stamp in their passport that matches their new status. If they travel abroad, they're going to have to wait outside of the United States until they can process a new H-1B visa stamp in their passport to replace whatever visa stamp they may have had, which could be an F1, say, or an H4, not an H1, an F1 or an H4, and then they can re-enter the United States. So for most of those that are going through the cap gap period, I recommend that they wait until after October 1st, after they have their H-1B approval notice, to travel abroad. And then last but not least, can my H-1B worker process the H-1B stamp at a third country consulate like Mexico or Canada? Now, this used to be a pretty good option many years back, but currently there is huge backlogs at the consulates, and most consulates, if not all, are not taking third-party nationals. So if someone does not reside or is a citizen of Mexico or Canada or whatever country, it is unlikely that they're going to be able to process their visa stamp there, because those countries already have to give priority to their own nationals or residents. So they are unlikely to take foreign nationals from other countries. In addition to that, especially if it is a new visa, so say a new category, they had an F1 before, but now they need an H1. That is also another criteria for which it is which is unlikely that a third country would take that person, because they also don't like to process a new visa category for someone from a third country in their consulate. So in general, most likely the foreign national will have to go to their home country or their prior country residence to process that stamp. And again, I really I strongly recommend, if this is something that you encounter often, questions about travel, issues about travel, that you watch the video that I did on travel very recently, because it will clarify on very practical terms some of the things that you need to know to have the most confidence and peace of mind on some of these issues. It is a topic that is complicated. And again, this information is for general use, just to kind of give you some peace of mind or some things to think about when you're considering travel questions. I hope you enjoy this Q&A and its value. And again, I also hope that you enjoy the video, the webinar that I did on this. And next month, I have another topic of huge interest, and is the transition from H1 to a green card. We always get many questions about that. So make sure you stay tuned for all the news, all the updates that I have coming next month, which would be June 2024. And subscribe to the channel so that you make sure that you stay up to date. Until next time, have a beautiful week, month. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.